Yesterday evening, I was passing through a church graveyard, returning to my bicycle after watching the sunset from some beautiful fields. I walked slowly by the headstones, scanning the names marking the bodies that lay below. Before opening the kissing gate to leave the graveyard, I turned around to look again, and was confronted by the faces of all of these headstones, like a crowd of people, organised in neat rows, feet glued to the ground. I was confronted by the stark contrast between the life inside of me and the death inside of them, the infinite potential that I possessed, and that they no longer did. I thought about how strange headstones really are. I was attempting to see them from outside of the stories and notions about death that settle in the mind as you grow up. Isn't it so unfortunate that as children, we're also inquisitive and curious? Nothing is taken for granted when you see things for the first time. I think that's the beauty of childhood. I think that is why children are playful and adults are not. We begin to see the world through a lens of ideas, labels, stories, and gradually our playfulness dies away. As I realize this more and more, and actively discard those mind-made stories, I find myself being more joyful, curious. Each moment has more of a spark when we see it for what it is, and not what the mind says it is. I stood there staring at the headstone closest to me. I glanced from headstone back out toward the valley, beyond the church gates. I thought about the person whose life this gravestone pointed to. All of the small, insignificant things that they did each day. All of the small things that they owned and collected. How once they passed, these things immediately became pointless clutter. Everything that they owned or obtained in this life became meaningless to them because they are dead. With this, a realization that being alive is this indescribably precious gift. That tirelessly striving for more things, more money, it's like chasing your shadow. That after you pass through this life, all that you leave, which truly matters, is the impact that you had on others. That shouldn't it be the supreme and ultimate goal of everyone on this planet? To have a headstone which points to a life which was a portal through which so much light and love came into this world. Standing in the graveyard, my body was overflowing with the sparkling energy of truly understanding your inevitable death. As I type this, I sit at a desk, staring into a computer screen. To my right is a large window looking out to the slow rolling hills of Wales. As if spending half of my waking life inside of an office is remedied by the privilege of a view like this. But having a deep purpose in life that does not align with your current circumstances does not justify unhappiness. I know that I have complete and utter freedom to be or do anything in every single moment that I'm truly present and aware, even if I'm currently working on something that does not quite live up to my mind's idea of impactful work. There is nothing more freeing than this realization. Oh, the weight that is lifted off of one's shoulders once they truly understand what matters in this world is not physical, not stories or opinions, not money or even experiences. I no longer care whether or not my obituary says that I was so smart, achieved so much, worked so hard, was so kind. All I want is a gravestone that points to a life that was like a little flame, lighting up everything it touched, everyone it came in contact with, reminding people of the wonder and the simplicity of life. With this, a realization that everything I need to live my life how I want to live it is already inside of me. There is nothing I need to do or accomplish to obtain it.